Hi, everyone. Debanshi and I will be talking about integrating AI search and discovery into your PWA. My name is Sajid Momin, and I am the Director of Integrations at Algolia. And
I'm Debanshi. I'm an alliances lead here at Algolia on our partnerships team, and great to be with all of you today.
okay, so actually, let's begin. Before we start or getting into our presentation, we'll kind of go over the agenda. So first, first in our session, we'll be covering the benefits of a PWA for e-commerce. Second, we will talk about the importance of search and discovery in your PWA experience. Third, we'll highlight the principles of choosing the right search and discovery solution. Fourth, we'll talk about the benefits of Algolia and PWA. And last, we'll cover Algolia in the Magento PWA storefront. So let's begin with the benefits of PWA for e-commerce. Why would you even want to go with PWA or PWA approach? Well, we'll focus on three areas: improve user experience, business-driven outcomes, and optimized dev experience. Now, how does a PWA provide a improved user experience? Well, a PWA is essentially a web application with a couple of features that enable a fast, performant experience and has native-like features that allows you to tap into more of the experiences of a native applications to engage your users and having them come back for more. So increases loyalty as well. Second, business driven outcomes. Why do business care about PWA? Well, if you have your customers or coming back for more and increases brand loyalty, then you're able to meet, our business is able to meet their objectives, which is to retain customers. Also, PWA allows to operate in offline mode. So in an e-commerce use case, a customer can not transact, but at least able to shop, add their products to their shopping cart. And once they are able to get internet connectivity, they can then complete their transaction. And that will lead to drive higher conversion. Now, for optimized dev experience, the PWA itself, as I mentioned, it's an enhanced version of a web app with the additional features to enable for fast and performant experience. So the tools are there for developers to kind of utilize a PWA, and there's tons of materials out there to help launch the application to market quickly to different devices and locales. And it also allows the additional extensibility to build advanced features. So overall, minimizing development costs, as I mentioned, it provides a native experience. So you don't have to hire developers for Android, for iOS. So that way you can kind of focus on web application with this native-like features. And then with the native-like experience, you're going to maximize on user loyalty and eventually conversion rate and drive revenue growth.
So now that we've talked about the benefits of PWA for e-commerce, why is search and discovery an important part of that experience? So search is actually often overlooked when building an e-commerce strategy, but retailers are learning quickly that it can be a competitive advantage. On average, conversion rates for retailers range between 2 to 4%, depending on the vertical. But Amazon has a higher than 12% conversion rate. Now, Nacho Analytics says that the difference is their investment in search. They have invested years and thousands of engineers building the best search and discovery. Now, for others to compete, they must catch up. And that's where investing in search matters. On mobile, we see certain challenges that require even more attention to good search. First of all, mobile has less reliable connectivity. So it is important that we use a PWA combined with a fast, performant search to keep users engaged. As McKinsey notes, users abandon bad sites for competitors after 2 to 3 seconds. Google also notes that a 5-second delay leads to a 20% drop in traffic. Second, it is important to bring context in that can provide the most relevant results. For example, let's say a user is searching for a coffee. It helps to bring in their location, maybe their coffee preferences, maybe they always order oat milk, and have that surfaced at the top so that they can easily convert and pick up in store. Third, we all have fat fingers and phones are small. Moreover, users are on the go. This means that we need to match user intent to the most relevant products, and we need to do it instantly. When browsing, we need to capture their attention with the products that they are most likely to convert on. You can't afford to have users scrolling to find the items that they're looking for or doing multiple searches in order to get what they are looking for. So ultimately, search intent provides higher conversion rates when met with the right content and the most performant experience. PWA acknowledges that browsing and transactions are happening across devices and makes it easier to do so by deploying across various experiences. Mobile activities like browsing and research can influence a significant portion of revenue of sales happening on a computer. So it is important to bring good search and discoverability across devices by integrating it with your PWA solution. A user can start on their website, and then all of those behaviors can be brought into the CDP when they're looking at something again on mobile, either entering on their own or being triggered by a social media ad. Maybe then they walk to a store where they interact with an in-store kiosk or with an in-store rep who has their own assistant app. All of those experiences can use search and discovery and carry the context of the user and also the trends in that area, the weather, upcoming holidays, and other pieces of context to provide the most relevant product offerings. So as we can see, search and discovery can be a true competitive advantage and revenue driver for retailers who get this right. So now I'll hand it over to Sajid to talk about how we choose the right solution to get this right.
Yes. So, what are the principles for selecting the right search and discovery solution? Well, let's keep with the theme with three focus area: improve user experience, business-driven outcomes, and optimize dev experience. You want to make sure, with a PWA, as I mentioned earlier, that PWA is fast and it's performant and it's provides that native live experience. You want to provide similar attributes of the PWA with when you're selecting a search solution. So speed is important, and make sure performance is right there with speed, and then high relevancy, which is more for search. You want to make sure that because with PWAs, you want to be able to not only get the search out to your customers, but also be able to make sure that the search results are relevant. And with a mobile first design in mind with PWA, it works across multiple devices. So you want to make sure that you build your application in a way that is mobile first. And that means that with a search solution, you want to make sure that what gets transmitted to the mobile device is able to work in any bandwidth. So with a mobile, you're not going to get the best bandwidth or internet access. So you want to make sure that it's small enough and it provides the right information to the customer when they need it. As you can, so research shows that more than 60% of the global population own a smartphone, and 79% of those users have online shopped with their mobile devices. So you want to make sure that your application is mobile first, and your search solution actually ties into that perfectly. Next, for a business-driven outcomes, you want to make sure that the search solution that you choose provides the intelligence to your business on the customers themselves, and then helps deliver the context to that customer so that they're able to convert. And you want to be able to allow the business to use the search solution to personalize and localize based off of the customer, where they are located, and what their user behavior is, and their buying, what they're looking to buy, essentially. So, and the last thing I would have to say on the business-driven outcomes is you want to be able to provide that transparency on how the search results have actually within a product, how that particular product has been positioned in the search results itself. And you want to make sure it's testable, being able to try different, try A/B testing to see what your different relevancy settings, how they work, and so that way you can set them appropriately and make sure that you're driving that higher conversion that you're looking for. Now, for the optimized dev experience, you want to make sure that the search solution that you're looking at is API first. You want to make sure that the developers are not constrained by the platforms and they have to work within the platforms. Working with an API first platform, you're able to just not constraining the developer, and they can build the application as they see fit based off of the business requirements. You want to make sure that the search solution provides, not because they're API first, that's great, but you want to make sure that they're also providing SDKs or UI libraries that allows to accelerate the development effort, and so you can get the application out as quickly as possible on as many devices and locales.
So based on the principles that matter most for PWA, we believe Algolia is the best fit. So to share some background on us, Algolia is a 9-year-old company that started in Paris and now has over 500 employees and 6 offices globally, with headquarters in San Francisco. We recently went to unicorn status and are seeing major growth. We power search for over 10,000 customers and are in fact second in volume to Google when it comes to the amount of search volume that we process. So we're truly operating at scale and for the enterprise. So why are we a benefit for PWA? First, if you care about performance and speed, Algolia helps with that. We have a powerful proprietary search engine that we have built from scratch with cloud infrastructure globally that helps us provide the fastest search as you type experience. We provide results with each keystroke in less than 10 milliseconds. Additionally, our front-end libraries are so performant that many e-commerce sites use our building blocks to build their whole site. The search results page, the category page experience, the navigation, all of it. During peak traffic, such as during Black Friday, we help offload the burden on the e-commerce site because of what we can handle. Second, Algolia provides a layer of intelligence that combines user intent with business-driven outcomes. We do so by empowering business users with the tools to understand how search is impacting their bottom line with analytics and giving them the features to make changes to their relevance and the way that products are ranked. They can use our tie-breaking algorithm to push high inventory or high sales margin products to the top, or bring in any other business metric that they want to use to inform that ranking. They can push items that are trending for that weekend, or they can personalize based on any number of strategies, such as brand affinity. If you're an Apple user and you're searching for a phone, you definitely don't want to see a Samsung phone at the top, for example. Lastly, Algolia is truly API first and aligns best with the way that PWAs are architected. We decouple the backend and front end and provide the front end building blocks for those that don't want to build from scratch in order to speed up development. In fact, we just released today UI templates specifically for PWA, and Sajid will talk about that more in a bit. Algolia provides these benefits for PWA, but ultimately it is about driving revenue for all of our customers. We try to understand our customers' goals and help them measure using A/B testing features how search and discovery are impacting their goals. Then we work with them to iterate and optimize their results. Lacoste is a global retailer that came onto Algolia after years on Solar, where they were struggling with slow search results and therefore a high bounce rate. They implemented Algolia globally in many different languages. And the experience you see, whether you're on their US page or their Mexico page in Spanish, is remarkable. Algolia actually is language agnostic, so we power search in over 100 countries in over 70 languages. As you can see, they have results that dynamically update with each keystroke as the user shares more and more intent about what they're looking for. They use intelligence to make sure they're surfacing the dress at the top that is most likely to convert. They have a lot of dresses, they have a lot of polos, so this level of intelligence is really important. And they add rules such as banners here based on the specific keyword. So here they have a banner for the word dress that features some of their best dresses. They also have banners for words like sale that will highlight their sale items and then boost the sales to the top. With their implementation, they saw a 62% increase in conversion on mobile, and their bounce rate decreased by 88%. Ultimately, they more than doubled their online sales. Pentair is an Adobe customer that went D2C during the pandemic from a traditional B2B model. They use Magento for commerce and Adobe Experience Manager for their CMS. And for their front-end experience, they wanted a unified search experience that would bring different types of content together with one search bar. Using Algolia's integrations, they were able to easily bring in the commerce data from Magento and all of the pages and manuals from AEM and build that front-end experience within AEM. Ultimately, they saw a 5x increase in product views per visit and significant revenue growth. And their director of e-commerce, Mike Lewis, noted, he said, there's a lack of appreciation for the space. I've heard many executives say that search is search, but it's much more important than that. It is a foundational need for online commerce. So this is what a lot of our customers are realizing, that investing in search is actually foundational. And by doing it, they can get miles ahead of their competitors. Pentair is one of 1,300 customers using Algolia with Magento, or now Adobe Commerce, today. As we plan out our PWA experience, there are a lot of ways to make the search experience more dynamic to improve results, and Depop has employed many of them. Depop is a growing online community and marketplace for more than 10 million people who perform 1.5 billion searches per month. Designers, artists, collectors all rely on search to find the products that they need. And Algolia powers this experience, also tailoring it to each individual customer and showing them relevant content based on their profile. You see one way that they're doing this in the centermost phone, in the way that they personalize their facets, so that on the go, when a user is searching for something, the filters are pre-populated and they're getting the results that are most applicable to them. They also have implemented recommendations, as you can see on the left, and they've brought in many different types of data into a unified experience, but in a way that highlights top brands, recent items in a very, very small amount of real estate. There are so many ways to bring a differentiated search experience to your end users, but they all start with the same principles of speed, a controllable intelligence layer, and flexibility through APIs and front-end widgets.
So how does Algolia enable quick time to market? Well, first, we provide great documentation. So if a developer is looking to implement Algolia, the documentation is there. I mean, we haven't had any issues or had support calls on a particular documentation wasn't complete for a developer to get this implemented for discovery purposes. We also provide a free access account, so they are able to, for the first 2 weeks, get the entire platform or all the features of the platform for free, and then it goes down to basic search. We also provide a API clients for most of the common languages. So most of that would essentially help any developer looking to implement this will help them accelerate their implementation and get this in front of their business users to take a look at. We also, as Debanshi mentioned, we do have UI templates that are built on our API clients to even accelerate that and kind of show or even demo to business users on day one if they wanted to kind of see what Algolia is and what it kind of will provide to them and to their business itself. In addition to that, we also have e-commerce platform integration. So we've gone the next step up of building SDKs. We're like, let's actually build these integrations out. So we have 3 e-commerce integrations that Algolia is maintaining and supporting. One is Shopify, one is Magento, one is Salesforce Commerce Cloud. We understand that some businesses, they don't have a large development team, and having these integrations will even accelerate their adoption of Algolia and I think it's important to have that so that they can actually feel comfortable that they're able to deliver their project successfully and on time. And then we also work with partners such as GOMAGE to build out additional integrations, or they actually went ahead and built integrations into certain e-commerces to accelerate or even enable building, in this case, PWA applications and in Magento. So here we have the ability to drag and drop in the Magento Studio, and the app that they built is the ability to build the PWAs within the Magento Studios. So, and we work with other SIs that help enable and accelerate development for our customers. So from a GoMage PWA storefront, you can take a look at their demo. The link is provided below to the bottom right. And you can take a look and see what they provide from a PW perspective in Magento Studio. So again, what Algolia search, once it's enabled, you'll start to see faster search results on the first keystroke. Customers will start to see relevant search results. Business will get the transparency that they need to deliver business outcomes and reduce the cost of development by using our API clients and sample codes that we help guide the developers to build search features with best practices in mind. If anyone here wants to learn more, please reach out to me or Debanshi. We'll be happy to help you.
Thank you for the talk and explaining the integration aspects and the questions. Really, we have some questions for you. The first one is, are there any case studies on Algolia plus PWA? And that question is from Mil Bias.
Yes, so we do have a few. One example that comes to mind is with a company called Cronext. Cronext was previously on a completely monolithic architecture, and as they went through their journey, they decided to use Algolia in a PWA architecture. I think PWA is a growing area. We're starting to see more, and we're excited to build more case studies with GoMage in the future.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So let's move forward. And the second question is, isn't improved UX pretty much the same as business-driven outcomes? Since the better UX, the better the business outcomes. And the question is from Tom.
Yeah, I would say.
Go on, Debanshi.
I would say yes. I would say that's absolutely true.
Yeah, I mean, completely. I mean, that is important. I mean, by providing the best user experience that is fast and relevant, at least from a search experience, will keep that customer coming back to your application, and especially if in an e-commerce use case, they'll come back to do all their shopping there if it's more of a open kind of online store. So.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
what I'll add is, so I think UX is a great start, right? It's what keeps them there, as Sajid said, with that great experience. But beyond that, there are other ways, other levers to use to drive business outcomes. You could have the most fantastic experience, but if you're adding the item at the top where you have no inventory, you kill that experience, right? So employing your business strategy to maybe push that inventory you're trying to get rid of, or all those other hidden factors, like maybe your sales margins, promoting the items with the highest sales margin to the top, are additional ways to move your business outcomes along with the UX.
Thank you for the answer. The next question is: any peculiarities of integrating Algolia to a standard CMS or to PWAs?
As long as the data or the content is indexed into Algolia itself, then I don't think there's any difficulties in integrating it with the Algolia indexes.
Yeah, I'll add that Algolia is schemaless, so you can put it pretty much in any type of content into Algolia. When you're looking at a CMS, you may crawl the data. We do have a crawler, or you might use our API clients in order to bring that data into Algolia.
We have another question, and that's a rather interesting one from Nathan. Nathan wants to know, seems integrations like GoPWA and Algolia on e-commerce platforms have been mostly plug and play via GS libraries for years now. With PWA architecture, this type of integration is no longer the best option as it limits client-side caching and offline browsing functionality. The question is, how does Algolia plan to make integrating their search and category merchandising tools a fast and cost-effective process regardless of a merchant's choice of front-end and back-end solutions?
I guess from my understanding of that question was that how does search apply to some of the features of a PWA, things like caching? Unfortunately, with search, that we did have a PWA approach to that, but I think we've decommissioned it just because it was just too heavy. And with search, you definitely need to be online, but that's where where Algolia is has a competitive advantage amongst the others, is that we're quick. We're in all the different we're globally available in 17 different data centers, so we're able to deliver quickly, especially when you have low bandwidth. And I think that's kind of how Algolia started, was to address speed when it comes to search on mobile.
Thank you for a lot for joining us in this PWA journey today and sharing your expertise.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Yes, thank you. Thanks again. Have a nice conference.